How's that squash working out?
That's great. No. The thing is, if you actually want a truly sensational squash experience, you've got to combo up.
Is that what it's called, sensational squash?
No, that's
It
just
is.
me.
I think it is. I think the Robinsons brand of that is called sensational squash.
What, the mix between the pineapple and mango?
No, the actual fancy squash is called sensational squash.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was called Temptations, but those are the crisps, aren't they?
Yeah. Maybe it is. No, it is Sensations. You've made your own concoction.
Oh, that's Temptations. That's a band. God, just too many things. Crisps are Sensations, the band is the Temptations, and this is Sensational Creations. Anyway, it's a mix between orange and pineapple squash, yummy, and blackcurrant, which I think on its own, very boring, very underwhelming, but once you add it as a sort of a mixer, then the show really starts. So just top tip to anybody else out there who needs to spice up
the
water. It's not a strong man's urine. It's not pirate's piss, which is what it looks like.
I have seen people comment on, what are you drinking? Why?
I just can't drink water by itself.
I
Not
know.
for me. I'm too glamorous for that.
I have gone through phases of having just water, and I definitely feel really like...
I feel like Gwyneth Paltrow when I drink a bottle of water, because it's so unusual and it feels so sort of perfunctorily healthy.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's just...
Did you watch, on a different note, did you watch the Harry and Meghan Oprah interview?
I watched bits. I watched clips.
You've seen
of
enough.
It, but I've seen enough.
I
Yeah.
watched all 2 hours of it.
Really?
And I shouldn't have, because it was really late. It finishes at like 11. I just loved it. I mean, obviously, I didn't love what she was saying because it's shocking, but it was like watching. It was just better than reality TV.
It's reality TV rolled up with The Crown, rolled up with like all of the kind of glamour and gloss.
And Oprah.
And Oprah.
I just love her, and it's made me go on this. Alfie, when he can't get to sleep, watches videos of people singing, and I don't know. I was feeling sad, and he showed me this video of Jennifer Hudson singing "Here" or "I'm Home" or "Here." I think it's "Here." You have to YouTube it. It's her singing, and Oprah's watching. It's some kind of event, and she's singing a song about, I think, from The Colour Purple. Mm-hmm. And this is very recent, and Jennifer Hudson looks incredibly strong. This is after her family murders and her Weight Watcher campaign and stuff. So she just looks so fucking strong. And oh my God, within the first 30 seconds of watching her sing, I cried. I showed our mum, she started crying too. Oh. And Oprah's watching Jennifer Hudson, and her husband sitting behind her, Oprah's husband sitting behind her, and her husband does this with her hands, and they're just watching this amazing singer, and they're all kind of crying. It's beautiful. Anyway, the reason I'm mentioning that is because I just have always had this love for Oprah, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I've always loved Oprah. And so this combination of Meghan and, oh my God, I just loved it.
It was a bit too much almost, I think, for the world.
Meghan is the most beautiful woman in the world.
She is the most beautiful woman in the world. I remember at the wedding, when I watched it, it seemed like a Disney princess who had come to life. Her face is too perfect.
Oh my God.
But then also when you tie that in with the fact that when she was like 12 years old, she was this feminist, you know, who was like on Nickelodeon writing to big TV corporations about how sexist their campaigns were. And the fact that she's just always been this incredibly independent kind of free thinker who's so eloquent and stuff like that. It's just slightly even difficult to imagine and accept that she's a real human being because she's just so admirable.
But the way she responded to Oprah's questions as well, I thought was just so dignified. And I do believe, you know, you could argue that she's lying or she's not telling the truth. It's her side of the story. But I 100% believe her. I really do. And when she was talking about the firm and the institution, it's just fascinating the fact that no one has ever spoken out about this kind of thing before, and she's the first one, and she's within, you know, that meme of her where it's like within 4 years she's kind of dismantled the monarchy after whatever. It's just so true. She has literally changed the way we feel about the monarchy.
And I guess in a way, like, people who are cynical towards her maybe think, well, she's an actress, she's obviously good at kind of lying, and she maybe was like on a career path, because like any actor, right, you want to reach the top level of success, and how much more kind of privileged and esteemed could you be than being married into the royal family. So I think people are just so wanting to pull her down because of that. But then if you think about it, Hollywood and Hollywood royalty is kind of similar to the royal family in the way that it's just shrouded and it's on such a pedestal. But at least we can kind of understand that people in the Hollywood elite are disgusting and corrupt, and we learn about their scandals, and it's kind of a bit more out in the open, and we own them. But the royal family, they have all kinds of scandals. They're all disgusting people who are all like awful, and yet it's shrouded in secrecy and we're not allowed in. So I think it makes perfect sense. Apart from Harry, we love you, Harry. It makes perfect sense that somebody from that Hollywood royalty that is disgusting, that is corrupt, but at least openly so, would be the one to take on the British royal family, which is exactly the same, if not worse, but it's so clandestine. I just think it makes perfect sense. I mean, you'll never really know what has happened, but I think the fact that it's been such a beautiful kind of part of chaos is really satisfying to see. And I think it makes sense for this ending of the global pandemic. Perfectly timed. It just feels like a music video.
But just, I think the fact that they fell in love and they have a child together, they then lost a child, she's now pregnant. They just want to make the most of life for their family and help people. And they have been let down, and this is their chance to set the story straight and move on with their life. Like, I just respect them so much.
Yeah.
But they must have been so scared.
I know.
She looked really scared when she was asked these questions.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, it's so unprecedented. I guess you could argue that Princess Diana sort of did something similar, but I just think the scale of this is so unprecedented. So yeah, it must be terrifying.
Harry looked so raw.
Yeah.
And you just saw him as a little boy walking behind Diana's coffin, which was just so tragic. And you see the tragedy still there within him. And just think, fuck it, let him just go and be nice to him. What are you doing?
I know.
I might be an idiot and I might not know anything, but
nobody really does. Nobody really doesn't. You have to go with your instincts in this case. They are still human beings at the end of the day, even if they have so much wealth and they have so much of a different experience because of the people that they are, especially anybody who's in the royal family.
So my instinct's always slightly off, though. I always trust it so completely. And then something happens. Like,
who knows? We might, in 6 months' time, some huge other scandal might come and prove Meghan. Us to be fucking idiots.
Did you see all the stuff about Piers Morgan?
Oh my God.
Did you watch all the clips of him storming off when the weatherman was like...
No, I didn't.
It was amazing because the weatherman was like, I think he's the weatherman, did this like monologue for 2 whole minutes, which on morning TV is a huge segment of time, especially after a segment's finished. And he was like, the fact that you have continuously bullied and been horrible, and just for 2 minutes went on and on to Piers Morgan about why you should apologise. And then Piers just went, nope, done. And you just...
Like a little boy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The walk was kind of embarrassing, wasn't it?
Oh, it was just amazing. And I really hope that he doesn't become, a star on another network channel.
Yeah, but how can he not? He's a figure of derision, and people who dislike the power and the kind of eloquence of someone like Meghan Markle are always going to then run to Piers Morgan's camp because people are scared of strong women like her, I guess.
When we were at school,
Piers Morgan is so gross looking. He's got such a sweaty salmon face.
Yeah, but he didn't used to. He used to be quite beautiful. In the library at school, I remember at one point I thought I wanted to be a serious journalist before I realised that you have to be clever. And I looked in the autobiography section, and his book had a he had written a book. I think it was called the Piers Morgan Diaries or something.
Sounds good.
It was very good. And I read it. So I didn't realise he's like a bad man. Obviously I did when it got to the stuff about how he had altered the pictures to make it look like something bad had happened within the Iraq. He did something awful. I know that. And I read it and I just thought, I know everything about Piers Morgan. Like, anyone asked me anything you want to know about Piers Morgan, and I thought this would make me this would stand me in good stead as a journalist. And then I suddenly realised that I have read a few odd autobiographies of my time. There's something about just knowing everything about someone.
Because the thing is, like, what comforts me is that you're never going to be able to know everything about everything. So if you know everything about a couple of things, that will make me feel better. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So good for you that you know everything about Piers Morgan.
Well, I did. This is before his whole career.
Sure. You probably need an updated version, don't you?
Exactly. I think this was up to the 90s.
Yeah. So yeah, probably be good to just check in.
You see, also, if you watch This Morning or whatever it's called, Morning Live, the ITN, the I'm on ITV. Fuck knows. Susanna Reid, I just couldn't see the hatred in her eyes for Piers.
Yeah, but then she apparently was crying at his departure, sort of saying that, he's been my co-host, so I am going to miss him or something like that. They must have a twisted relationship. When you're in that close quarters with someone, even if you hate them, you are going to grow a certain level of dependency or affection for them, maybe eventually. That would be a really fascinating.
Yeah,
if you were stuck on a desert island with Piers Morgan for 3 years, you'd probably love him.
No, but when you're close to someone and when you know the darkest bits of them, the most horrible bits, and you feel closer to them. That's why relationships are so fucked up, and that's how people can stay in relationships for so many years.
And in the Woody Allen documentary last night, and I'm not ruining anything by saying this, but somebody who's sort of being interviewed who was a critic for one of the newspapers or something said that one of the cleverest and also most manipulative things that somebody can do, both in art and in real life, is to show their dark underbelly. And what Woody Allen does is he shows his neuroses so openly. That's what makes him lovable, and it's what makes you feel close to him. It's what means that a teenage girl can relate to a Woody Allen film, somebody who's like 45, in a way that she can't relate to things that are made by young women, because he shows you this darkness, and it kind of welcomes you in.
You're ruining it for me. I'm going to find out all out myself.
No, don't worry. That wasn't anything about it. But I'm just saying, I think that is really interesting to note, isn't it?
Yeah, when you know everything.
When somebody is open with you and says, this is why I'm a bad person, or this is something that is fucked up that I do, you kind of respect them for it, and you feel related to them because everybody has something that's fucked up about them. But we're not as bad as Piers Morgan. We'll just clarify that right now.
Yeah, definitely. When you know more about someone, you find them more attractive. That's why Facebook stalking became such a big thing. That's why most of our culture now is based on knowing everything about somebody before you meet them.
Exactly.
So when you meet them, you're like, you feel so much closer. So my big news is that, talking about TV and stuff, so my goal in life was to be on the One Show.
Yeah.
I got snubbed.
I know!
So the One Show have rejected me, guys.
Yeah. Can't fucking believe this.
I won't fulfill my dream. The only reason I wrote a book was to one day go on the One Show and talk about my book.
They are just... I mean, I'm so sorry.
I know.
Fuck you guys.
I've never... No. You can't be mean like... I still want to go on it. I want to...
Get right out.
I want to go on it one day, BB. Okay? So we can't be that horrible. I'm open to being on the One Show, guys. If you want to,
don't
book
be
me.
desperate. Do you know what I mean?
Desperate. I
He's
am
rejected
desperate.
you now. Like, he's not going to welcome you back in.
No,
do you know what I mean?
one day, somebody might drop out. That happens sometimes.
Why do you think that you got snubbed?
Because I'm not famous enough.
I mean, it's just crazy.
I'm not famous enough, and also I don't think many people go on with as little. Like when Dawn French went on, she had a book and a TV series and a show, and she had about 5 things to promote.
You have all of those things.
Well, I did have 2. I had 2 solid things, and they were like an absolute no. Do you know what also rejected me?
What?
Steph's packed lunch.
No. What? What's that?
Well, it's a Channel 4 daytime show. It lasts from 1 to about 5:30. And Steph you would know her if you watched as much morning TV as I do.
Steph from You Would Know Her shows that she's not worth knowing.
I think her name's Steph McGovern. She's a really nice, friendly, and she was a BBC part of, she did business or something. She did the news business.
Oh, she's that blonde northern one?
Yeah.
Oh, I do quite like her.
Yeah. Well, somebody plucked her and decided she's going to be a star.
She always impressed me on that little quick segment they did on tech. And they had a little sound effect just before it came on, Bebe bing bing.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
This might be the council. Wait.
Go and do it.
Hello? Oh, hello. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. We'll come down. Okay, bye.
Is that the mouse guy?
The mice guy's here. The mice guy. 1 second. Gonna get rid of those mice.
Through all the door shut.
Bye. Thank you. Oh, just slamming in Alfie's face. Sorry, Alfie.
Sometimes you've got to put a man in that place, you know? I think if this week has taught us anything.
Um,
I'm a girl boss.
What were we just talking about? Oh,
We were
Steph's
talking-
packed lunch.
Yeah, so it's packed lunch.
So yeah, she has lots of people on, and she has a comedian every so often doing like a bit, and Russell Kane is her usual guy for that. Anyway, it's not that I'm a big fan of Steph's packed lunch.
No.
It just would have been nice to have just been able to go on. Apparently, it has at one point, actually, 0 people watched.
Wow.
Did you not see that in the news?
No.
At one point during lockdown.
That's really
So
funny.
I don't think
that was on the news.
I don't think it would have been like that good for the book promotion, but at the
my
same
God.
time, it would have still nice to have just gone up to Leeds, got dressed up, just gone on a TV show.
But the thing is, it's like when you get it. It's like when you don't get an acting job or any other kind of job
Yeah.
that you didn't want in the first place. But they put you through the rigmarole, and then you get rejected, and you feel like you're being rejected by a guy that you don't even fancy. You know?
Totally.
It's a new kind of humiliation because like you think that you're better than it.
I don't think I'm better than the one show. I don't think I'm better than one show.
No. But like, as in, you know, you get these ideas in your head where it's like, you know, actually, like, you know, I'm great and I can do other things. And it's
That's
all
like
good.
if you're auditioning for like Village Girl 3. And you think,
Yeah.
this is, I mean, I shouldn't be auditioning for this.
Yeah.
But I'll go in anyway.
And then you get the no, and then you're just it feels so much more like of a blow.
I feel like I've been personally rejected by Alex Jones.
Oh, I think so too.
I
That's
think
what
she was
feel like.
shown a photo of me and she was like, I can't do a Welsh accent.
Yeah, but the thing is, whenever I see a photo of her kind of like radiant personality or her glorious fringe, I feel like she's rejected me personally anyway.
She has so many jumpers, bright coloured jumpers and trousers, fuchsia trousers.
Exactly. She's able to pull off bright colours without automatically being put in the box quirky, you know?
But the funny thing is...
Which is a blessing.
No,
Alex.
she doesn't come across... Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, she was quirky clothes. But she has been... I have noticed more the more I've watched it. It's quite depressing now. We got to the stage in lockdown where Alfie, when it's like 5 to 7, he like looks at me very sadly and he says, "Do you want to watch the one show now?" But yeah, when she has a guest on that's funny, she can't deal with it because a friend we have who's in the comedy industry was on the other night and she kept trying to make like a funny joke. It was Rose Matafeo. She was brilliant on it. And also it made me think, oh, if Rose has been on it, maybe she was on for the whole hour, Rose, and it kept cutting to other segments. And Rose obviously felt awkward that she was in the studio when nothing was, like she wasn't getting asked anything. It was to promote the fact that BBC Three,
because her specials on. Yeah.
BBC Three is going back to being a channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yay!
Yay! BBC.
Oh my god! We've missed it.
Where have you been? Actually, to be fair, I like BBC.
Yeah,
I like BBC.
yeah. Don't knock it.
Don't knock it until you tried it.
Anyway, so she finally, when it came to Rose's bit right at the end of the hour, Rose said something like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this. I've been sitting here all hour," and Alex just went. She just couldn't deal with Rose being funny and saying something that's just like not quite meant to be told. No one's meant to say anything right now. And I've seen presenters interact with Alex, and she just can't. She sticks to the script.
But also because Rose, in that scenario, Rose is kind of acknowledging the Matrix, isn't she? And you're not supposed to kind of make it obvious that a chat show is a very weird environment where you have to follow rules, and it's supposed to seem natural, but it's the furthest thing from natural. So good for her for kind of like pointing that out. But it's so funny to see Alex Jones, what's the word in a video game when a cat glitching? Yeah, glitching.
Or buffering.
Or buffering.
Yeah, which is the name of the ITV2 sitcom that I am starring in. I'm not starring in it. I'm not starring in it. I'm you know.
Exciting.
It is quite exciting.
It's going to be on next to Love Island, isn't it?
Oh, and between Family Guy and Love Island. What more could you want?
More could you want from your
Or the Cleveland Show.
The Cleveland Show?
Yeah, the Cleveland Show. ITV2. Family Guy, buffering, Love Island, buffering. Cleveland Show. I spoke to someone the other day and they said they don't like Family Guy. Is Family Guy not a good thing to like?
Oh, as in they don't like Family Guy.
They think Family Guy is awful.
Oh, I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's not awful. It's funny.
Family Guy is like a bro comedy that, you know, is made by Seth MacFarlane to is obviously catering to a very like homogenized audience, you know.
Is Seth MacFarlane the same guy who was in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
No, I don't think so. No.
Oh no, that's Olaf.
And Seth MacFarlane went out with.
He's in Ted, yes.
Seth MacFarlane's the guy with the beautiful singing voice who does all of the voices on Family Guy and Cleveland Show and stuff like that. And but he's got a super weird face, but he's obviously very talented as like a billionaire. And he went out with Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones.
Oh wow. So talking of billionaires, I heard on Lorraine this morning that Amanda Seyfried's been nominated for an Oscar.
Good. Thank God. It was about time.
God.
It was about time.
Come on.
For old salty
Mia.
lips. Don't her lips always look like she's just been sunburned? Like in a very sexy way, but she's got the wrinkliest little lips.
Does she?
They're big, but they're also small at the same time. It's like her lips just always look kind of bruised and sexy and like.
All I know is that she really loves animals.
Oh yeah.
Like,
she seems super boring.
I read a fact about her. Like my Kate Hudson has a teacup that she never. That my Kate Hudson fact. The Amanda Seyfried fact is that she never, ever, ever uses a hairdryer. She just lets it go dry naturally. I'm like, but if you're an actress, surely they must use it sometimes.
I think that's a lie. Like, there's no way that she doesn't have a hairdryer put on her when she's on set.
But why would you lie about that? Why would you want people to? Why would you lie about it?
I think because it kind of makes you seem at once responsible and also low maintenance. It's like a very attractive thing to say. It's a bit of a dog whistle for you should fancy me because I'm so amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
It's like when a girl says, you know, oh, I actually don't really like wearing makeup. Like, I don't even really know how to put it on. That's like them trying to say, I'm so beautiful without makeup. Yeah. You should be jealous of me.
And I'm going to grow old gracefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're that bitch, obviously.
No, I'm not that bitch. I've noticed more, I'm starting to see the telltale signs of age.
Oh, you're crazy.
Bought some collagen cream.
Really?
Yeah,
how's it working?
It does nothing. I think the fact about skincare is that the simplest things are the best. If you take care of your skin, you exfoliate, you moisturize, you drink water, there's not much more you can do to delay the onset of aging. But because I've been tired and I've been filming, and I look tired, I went into Boots the other day to get some prescriptions, not just for fun. Don't do that anymore because it's lockdown. And was walking around the aisles and seeing all of these different products and thinking, oh, this might change my life. This might change my life. This might change my life. And I've never ever been a sucker for that because I've just always been simple. The more you know, the more confusing life is.
Absolutely.
It's way better just to be oblivious, use the same product, wear the same clothes, done.
Yeah. Also, if you were to look at the ingredients of almost all of the skincare products, that all offer radically different things. Like this one is going to improve the brightness in your skin. This one is going to reduce lines. This one is going to make your skin youthful and plump. They pretty much all just like paraffin, wax, and like a couple of other like acids.
Totally. And water.
You might as well just use Vaseline on your skin.
Totally. The Paw, I think, is actually better than Vaseline.
But yeah, basically just keep it simple, guys.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know, we're approaching the end, sort of. To me, it feels like we're approaching the end.
Of life?
No.
Of what? This
Lockdown.
podcast?
No.
End of what?
Lockdown.
Oh, right.
You dum-dums. Obviously.
Okay.
I know it's a couple of months away.
I feel like that too. I feel very depressed.
Exactly. It's very strange to me when you say that you're depressed as well. Because,
I'm so depressed. Yeah. I'm not like clinically depressed.
No,
I think I'm
depressed,
locked
like
down
in a depressed state. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Sad.
Yeah. I'm like a wilting flower or something like that.
That can be like made perkier with certain things, like watching the One Show, which now is lost to me.
Exactly.
Now I'm not going to enjoy the One Show in the same way.
Exactly.
Sorry, Ten. Sorry.
He's upset that you got rejected from the One Show too.
He's very upset.
No, but I meant, now that we're approaching the end, I sort of feel a certain amount of
No, you don't have to be quiet.
Okay.
Just doing the shush thing that does nothing.
Yeah.
But has been done for millions and millions of years.
Shh. No. I just feel like now that we're sort of approaching a point where there's like a future in mind, I suddenly feel all of this pressure to like have all of like the problems that I haven't been able to sort out over lockdown fixed by the time it gets to like the 21st of June. Like this is some magical date where it's going to be like, Judgment Day, and we're going to meet Jesus at the pearly gates, and he's going to be like, oh, wow, did you learn sign language like you said you were going to at the beginning of lockdown?
And then also, don't you
I'll
feel
be
that...
like, 'cause that's not no. That's not how you say no in sign language.
How do you say no?
I don't know.
No?
I think it's no or something like that. I know that this is hello, but you could also just say that, couldn't you?
But
so
do
that
you
was
also
a useless
feel
one
like,
to learn. I should have learned something else.
Do you also feel like the time has just kind of blurred into one thing? So you have had a year to learn sign language.
Big
What have you
time.
been doing for a year?
Big time. I have no idea. If I was to put my finger on it right now, gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you a single thing I've done.
I actually got very sad yesterday because I've had these 2 days off and thought, okay, I'm going to spend a really good quality time with Donnie and Margot. I got sent this book, which is brilliant, called The 5-Minute Mum, which I'm going to do an Instagram about. And it's got all of these activities to do with your kids involving objects around the house, and make a treasure map and put it through the postbox and just say, oh, something's come through the postbox. And then they go to the postbox and they see it's a treasure map, and like creative, inventive things that apparently takes 5 minutes to do. They don't take 5 minutes because you have to find the equipment and stuff like this. But anyway, hey, yeah. Hey, do you want this? Anyway, I was flicking through the book thinking, okay, when they get back from school, I'm going to do a special activity with them. And I just couldn't. I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to. And I've had a year in lockdown to do these activities with them. And we did a bit of, the pasta art, did a bit of face painting. But ultimately, I've just been with them.
I know, but everyone feels that way. Like when you were working the other night and I was play fighting with them, or we were watching Georgia the Jungle. Brendan Fraser in Georgia the Jungle is the most gorgeous man alive. I've actually never felt so animalistically attracted to something I've seen before. I felt changes in my body happening as I was seeing him on the screen. And it just is so funny that he is such a dumpy fat loser now, because he was so
he's not a fat loser.
beautiful.
He's a lovely man. He was so nice to the kids at that convention.
He was. He called me a princess.
Oh.
I met Brendan Fraser, yeah.
I think he was calling Margot a princess because she was in her prince.
No.
Margot was in her princess dress, BB.
I was there. He called me a princess. He called me a princess.
Okay, wait.
Is it Comic-Con?
Yeah, it was Comic-Con.
There for the mummy?
He was there for the mummy, and he was eating cheese. He was eating cheese.
And grapes.
He was eating cheese. He was eating cheese and grapes, and Donnie and Margot ran up to him, and he was like, "Do you want a grape?"
Yeah.
We talked about that in one iteration of our show. I can't believe you don't remember.
Yeah, how could you not remember a
you were
tiny little bit in our show?
It's because you were too mesmerised by falling in love with me, wasn't it, Rachel?
Okay, go on.
Okay, so we were watching Georgia the Jungle, and Donnie and Margot were sort of trying to swing from vines and whatever, and I normally don't let them play fight with me too much because it's whatever.
You get too excited.
I get too into them. I don't have to show them the ninja chop, But anyway, it was so sweet, and it was a bit of fun. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll have a play fighting round. We can do 3 rounds, and the objective is that you have to try and get this hairband off of my wrist or something. And because I really committed to it, and I think it must be the first time that I've properly committed to the play fight, because I play with it and stuff, but this play fighting, this specific activity that you just know kids are going to want to do, but you don't quite do it because you don't want them to pull your hair and knock your teeth and stuff like that. But because I was like, okay, cool, fuck it, let's just play fight for a little bit. Just the joy.
Yeah.
It broke my heart because it made me feel so guilty, because that should be my role. Like, I'm the auntie, and they view me as like a big kid. Like, you do everything for them. The one thing that I can do is play with them and stuff like that. I thought I was doing a good job, but seeing how happy it made them just for 15 minutes to just actually be able to properly commit to something, it made me feel incredibly guilty. It was like I could have been doing this weekly all year.
Yeah, and it doesn't take that much.
It doesn't take that much.
So I've realised, because Donnie loves doing Lego battles, which I find so boring. Yeah. I just find I can't do the accents, like the voices, and the thing is, Donnie isn't very fair because he basically wins all the time. And it's not that I care about losing, but it's like anything I do, he's like, "Mummy, You can't do that.
Exactly. It's the same with any time that we play a game and he gives himself powers. He's like, okay, cool, I'm lizard boy. I can turn invisible. I can click and that makes me not invisible, and I can fly and I can run really fast. Margot is rabbit girl. She can see in the dark and she can hide behind things and she can change different animals. Bebe, you're the mum. And I'm like, could I have a power maybe?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
could I see you when you're invisible? Maybe I could turn invisible too, or maybe like I've got a really strong like punch or something. And he'll say no. And then if we get into a battle and they're shooting at me and stuff and I say, shield, I've got an invincibility shield, he'd be like, no, you don't have a shield.
Yeah.
It's so unfair.
I know. So I specifically woke them up at 6:30 this morning so that we could have a Lego battle before school, because last night he broke my heart by saying something. Oh yeah, no, yesterday after school, he was like, Mummy, please can we go to the park? All my friends are going to be there. And I really didn't want to go to the park. I hadn't fed the baby and it was going to be a nightmare. But I went and I said, okay, only for 10 minutes. We got to the park. There was no one in the park. So we were just then in the park watching, waiting. I said, Donnie, I don't think your friends are coming. And he was like, do you have their numbers? I don't want to text their mums. I was like, yeah, I do have their numbers, but I don't really want to text because... Meanwhile, Margot's going down the big slide that Donnie's too scared to go down and rubbing it in his face, being like, Donnie, you're too scared.
Girl boss moment.
And Donnie then said to her, Margot, when my friends arrive, you can't go down the slide, because if they see that I can't go down the slide and you can, they'll think I'm babyish. It broke my heart. Then I got in a bad mood and I was like, we have to go. The baby's crying. We have to go. I felt really guilty. So then in bed, I said, okay, we'll get up early and we'll do a Lego battle. Thanks, Ten. You just vomit down me. So it's okay. Don't worry. It's fine.
It didn't go down you.
So this morning we got up. We did the Lego battle. He starts winning everything, and something just. I'm tired and I'm irritable. Something just switched to me, and I didn't shout, but I said, Donnie, you can't always win, okay? It's not fair. It's not fair, because he basically didn't let Margot win or something. And so basically I got them up ridiculously early to do a failed Lego battle, and then was just in a bad mood with them. It was I felt like such an idiot. It's like, why didn't I just let them sleep in, get to school on time, not worry about playing? It's not my role.
Because you were trying to do everything and you're never going to be able to do everything. So you just have to accept
But
that.
I think I have to work out a way of doing the Lego battles that doesn't make me feel, because he's going to be 7 this year. He's not going to want to play with me forever, and it's like I'm wasting it. So I do feel like got to find a way of playing that doesn't really exhaust me.
Yeah. Or have a compromise and do what I tried to do, which was like, okay, they clearly really want to have this play fight, but I'm not going to have the energy or the inclination to do it for long. So there are 3 rounds and it's going to be 15 minutes max.
Yeah.
And then at least they kind of know the boundaries, right?
Yes.
And also I think that lockdown has put this huge amount of pressure on parents to be superheroes. And then you see, obviously we know that Instagram is a unrealistic depiction of reality, but even so you see people doing all of these crazy craft times and having amazing resources to kind of fill their children's day with wonder all year, when that's obviously not realistic and it's not applicable to every family. And it's never a parent's responsibility to literally be the mother, the father, the playmate, the best friend, everything like that. That's just it's never that's not what you have to be. You're just their mother and you have to just do that.
I know, but with all this stuff now as well about bring your boys up, teach your boys well, and so I was like, I hope I'm how do I do that?
Yeah, but the thing is, amazingly, when we were watching The Simpsons, Margot and Donnie asked me these questions that made me realise that they don't have the same gender role dynamics that we do. So Margot asked why Marge doesn't work, because she obviously sees you working and she knows that me and Mummy work, and she just couldn't understand why Marge didn't work, or why Homer was sort of making references to the fact that Marge didn't work. So I thought that was really cool and encouraging. And then Donnie asked why at the end of George in the Jungle, why you always have to see the man and the woman get together at the end and have a baby. And I said, well, to show that they have happy ever after and they have a family. And he said, but why is that happy ever after? I just thought it was so cool to think about the fact that they haven't been indoctrinated yet. So I don't think that you have to feel a certain personal level of guilt that you have 2 boys now and you have to raise them to be feminist. The world that they're going to grow up in is going to be a very different one.
And equally with Margot, the world growing up, hopefully for her, will be different. I know that it's terrifying thinking about TikTok and the fact that she knows the word sexy and she does, sassy dance moves, but at the same time, she's going to be taught to be strong and to have big dreams.
Exactly. And also not to put up with the kind of behaviour that women have to put up with, like all the time from men. I think that's something that is probably going to be addressed in the next, like, generation for sure.
Definitely.
Boundaries being put in place.
So I think that we're almost finished because this baby's. I've got to say.
It's an exciting time. We're doing a live podcast.
Yeah, we are.
We are actually. It's been rescheduled. So anybody that booked a ticket to our podcast in February, we're going to be doing a live one in May, which is awesome.
Yeah. And also we're doing a live event on June the 24th
for Jessie's book.
For my book launch. I've heard a lot of people have a book out at the moment, and that's kind of scary because they're all really good people. So
it's going to be a big competition.
It's going to be a big competition.
It's going to be like
Annie Mac's written a novel. Izzy Sooty, you know Izzy Sooty? My friend, she's written a novel. So
they're all going to
don't buy their books.
Don't buy them. Don't buy them. Support us.
Do buy their books. Support everyone. But anyway, we're doing that on June 25th.
Yeah. So if you just want a large dose of Jessie and Bebe, then you just sign up for both of those tickets right now.
No, but that's virtual.
Yeah.
So that's easy.
Yeah,
I mean, ideal for introverts right now.
Oh my
actually.
God, big time.
Yeah. Because you see people.
Exactly.
On the Zoom, but you don't have to.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've always thought about that with the comedy gigs where you have to be in a Zoom audience member. In a way, that feels even more intimate than being in the front row because they can see inside your living room.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want a comedian commenting on what I'm doing. It's just so bizarre to me.
Look at this cool invention. I don't know what it is. It's because he eats his hand the entire time. Who invented this is a genius, and I just want to. I love you.
Do you make adult size ones?
They just put them in their mouth.
Spice it up in the bedroom.
It smells of washing powder, but yeah, this actually would be a great sex toy.
Take it away.
You can have it if you. I bought 3.
My hands aren't that small. Small enough. I don't know what that's for.
You don't want a small mouth.
I just like
big mouth.
Oh yeah, no. I just like making generalized statements with a sexy tone to confuse people. Like, that's a colourful pen.
Yeah.
Ooh. So that's a long trouser leg.
So yeah, if you want to watch us, please sign up for those 2 events and become a Patreon if you want to see my heart-to-heart diary entries, which are becoming more frequent with my depression. But yeah,
maybe I should start doing Patreon posts.
Yeah.
About my non-depression.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean,
I'm
you know what I mean. Yeah. Nah.
Anyway, that didn't sit well with our depression.
Oh God! hang on. So we have to end the podcast because my mice guy is here.
Yeah.
We tried everything. The glue traps.
Yeah.
People.
When Jessie was at work the other morning, I was taking the kids to school. Alfie had laid out all these glue rat traps over the kitchen. And in a succession of 5 minutes that we had to be leaving for school, both me and Margot got our feet stuck on the traps. So there were just 2 socks left standing upright like ghosts.
Yeah. And I saw that you put them in a bin.
Yeah,
you put them in the bin.
I put them in the bin. Yeah. I didn't know where else to put them. I was going to be able to get that sock off.
It's quite funny when you talk to people about mice, and then you realise that they're like, "Oh, you have mice?" I'm like, yeah, I've got mice. And then they just start to kind of gauge how graphic they're going to be. And they like, for instance, one lady, she was so timid and sweet. And she started telling me about her mice problem. I was like, well, just we had to get rid of them in the end. So yeah, did the glue traps. The problem is it was only his hand that got trapped. So, obviously he was alive, but just stuck to the glue. So just had to drop something heavy on it, and then the other one, it wasn't quite dead, so yeah, just drove over it, and there was a couple we just flushed. I was like, I can't do that.
It's so interesting that those people will probably also be like vegans.
Oh yeah.
Who go to like protests and who are like really kind of ethical and sustainable, but at the same time they have no qualms about like ripping a mouse's hand from its body.
I do want to know about this. I want to know what vegan animal lovers do
about
if they have
control.
A severe mice problem and they live in a house with 3 children that put their hands in their mouth the entire time, when apparently mice shit and urine is toxic. So I would like to know, because I would like to have been humane. We tried doing the humane traps. They do nothing, because apparently mice are very clever.
They are. They're very clever. Also, apparently, ever since the pandemic, because all the restaurants in central London have been closed and there hasn't been as much food available, that's why there are more mice and rats in suburban areas.
Yeah, exactly.
They need somewhere to go.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to go and speak to the guy now. So we'll report back on how effective the poison is.
We're good.
Fuck those mice.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck you, Minnie. Fuck you, Mickey.
Who's Mickey? Oh, Minnie and Mickey.
That was a very lame joke, wasn't it?
It's like right at the end of the podcast, you're just going to get your hatred
just
out.
getting my vendettas out.
Okay, cool. So see you next week for another good time.
Yeah.
When
Come back for more sassy outfits and for
colour pens,
for more colourful
biro and pencil.
and more baby vomit.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, his stomach is growing, and he's developing.
Mine too. I'm developing.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.